All right, we are live. How's everyone doing out there tonight? Good to be with you.
How are you?
Just a little bit of music here for a minute while we get everything going.
And as people join,
As
if you like this
people
music,
join.
it is a song that our daughter, Sammy Gardner, wrote and produced.
Yeah, you
with the
can
help
check
of a
her out
neighbor.
on Spotify. Sammy, Sami Gardner, Gardner.
We are proud parents. She's very talented.
Just search that on Spotify and you'll find it. I'm going to scoot a little closer to you
Okay, awesome.
so that we can both be in the TikTok frame here. All right. How's everyone doing? My name is John Gardner, and this is my wife and law partner, Ravlin Mendoza.
Hey,
And
guys.
We are the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza, celebrating our 25th year this month. So we are very excited about that. We come to you every Wednesday from 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock on Facebook Live and on TikTok.
And on YouTube.
That's right. And we come here to give you immigration updates and to answer your questions. So if you have some immigration questions, get them loaded up on TikTok, get them loaded into Facebook, and we will get to them as the evening progresses. I want to warn you that what we do here is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. It is not legal advice. Okay?
Not legal advice.
Not legal advice, but it's super informative.
And for those of you out there, and you think that this information is going to be helpful to those people that you know, please like and share this video, share this live, and that way your friends and family can ask their immigration questions as well. We'd love to help people in this hour that we are giving some updates and answering questions.
All right. So, we already have a comment here on.
Oh, we got to show this one.
Yeah. All right, I need a
okay. Jim says, "Hey guys, just want to thank you for the uplifting stuff you give to us. You truly bless people with what you do. You truly bless people with what you do. Thank you so much, Jim, and thanks for coming here live every week. So we really appreciate that. We appreciate your support, and we love answering Jim's questions, and we will love answering yours as well. So Jim, if you got any questions, put them up there and we'll be happy to answer it. Appreciate the compliment as always. It makes us feel good that we are making an impact, and we like to make an impact, but we also like to share our knowledge and help you with the questions that you have. And one thing that I want to say, we've been doing this live stream pretty consistently since 2020, right?
That's right.
We took a little bit of a break for a few months, but we've been coming here, and it's fun. It's fun to be able to answer your questions and help you see a way forward. But want to remind you guys that this conversation is just the beginning, right? We are just starting the conversation. So if our theory is, if you're asking a question here, that means you need to pick up the phone and give us a call.
Absolutely.
And book an appointment with us so we can help you. So it's just the beginning of a conversation, and we love starting the conversation. And it's for you to say, hey, I think that I need some help with my immigration case. It's too important for me to be popping all over social media and TikTok and hopping on people's lives and trying to get the answers to my questions. And I know you guys have a lot of questions. We know, because week after week we see them and we answer them. But take that next step. As we like to say, you can come to us. We would love it if you came to us and gave us the opportunity to help you with your immigration case. But go find an immigration attorney if it's not us.
Okay? Absolutely.
If it's not us, that's fine. But go find an immigration attorney that is reputable, that can help you with your immigration problem. Now, it's not always an immigration problem, right? It's a journey. But sometimes there is a problem, and it's a problem a lot of times if you don't have the proper legal advice and assistance. So take that and please heed our advice on this one.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we like to come here once a week to answer your questions and give you some guidance and give you updates. I mean, we understand that not all of you will become our clients. And I was going to say that's okay. It's really not okay, but I know it's going to happen. So we're just going to have to accept that it is okay. But, if you are here, as Radlin said, then obviously you have some immigration matter that you're working on or getting ready to start working on, or you have an immigration problem. That's what we do. We find solutions and we help people, get their cases done so they don't have to worry about it. That's really what gives us a lot of joy, is knowing that we can bring 25 years of experience to, efficiently, effectively, and accurately get your case completed so that you can get on with doing the things that you want to do and not have to be losing sleep over this immigration stuff and pulling your hair out. You can see I already pulled all my hair out looking for all these answers for you for the last 25 years. So, I mean, I took a hit. I took one for the whole immigration world, immigrant team out there.
Thanks,
all right.
honey.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Really appreciate that.
My pleasure. So don't pull your hair out. I already did it and I've got the answers. And so just give us a call and we can help you. So Jim's question is right
Great
on
question.
point, because it actually was going to be our very first update tonight. And so, Jim, thanks for the question. It segues perfectly for the one big major update we wanted to give you tonight. And that is, Jim says, I've got a question. Didn't USCIS just pass a rule that they'll only accept electronic transmitted credit cards, debit cards? That's all they'll accept no matter how you filed. Is that true? Yes, for the most part, that is true. As of yesterday, all filings have to be paid for. The filing fees have to be paid for electronically. So you can no longer send in a paper check. All right.
Or a money order.
Or a money order. We've been cutting checks and sending money orders for many, many years. We've made the full transition in our office. We spent a lot of time making sure that we are ahead of this and that we are on it. And so our cases, even those that went out yesterday and today, are using the new system. So no worries. I'll go over a little bit for those of you who, like I said, I understand ultimately will not have us represent you, and you are going to do it on your own. Make sure you're not using a money order or cutting a paper check for the filing fees. All right. There are basically two ways, and I have the form right here. This is the one of the forms. You can see that. This is kind of what it's going to be looking like, what you're going to be filing. All right. One is the G1450 and the other is the G1650. The G1450 is if you want to pay your filing fees with a credit card. And the G1650 is if you want to do an ACH debit from a bank account. All right. Warning, has to be a US bank account. You cannot do an ACH debit from a international bank account. And also, if you're going to go this route, be careful that there are no limits. Make sure you contact your bank ahead of time to make sure you have full ACH capabilities with that account and that there's no debit block that's been placed on that account. If you're using a credit card, similar warning. I would make sure that you contact your credit card company and let them know that this charge that's coming through is not a fraud charge of some sort. We all have these fraud alerts where the credit card will not process something until you have approved it. You may not be around to approve it, or you may not see it. And that's going to be a real big problem, because if you use the credit card option, if your credit card gets declined for any reason, then you're done. The case will be rejected and denied, and you're basically out of luck.
Right. So it will be rejected. It will be sent back to you. It will not get processed. And so you will have to refile it again. And that can be an issue if it's a time-sensitive case and you need to get this filed, right? So this is so important, because we don't want you to put your case in jeopardy because, number one, thank you guys for being here and share this information. You now know, right? You now know if you're about to file that you can no longer send in a paper check or a money order. So,
yeah, so make sure you Google these forms. Anyone can pay on your behalf, whether it's with a credit card or you're doing the ACH debit. A client, if you're an attorney out there listening to this, client consent obviously would be recommended if you're going to go that route. But the point is, it doesn't necessarily have to be your credit card, so you can pay on behalf of someone else. I would certainly save a copy of the form that you file, and there is a signature line on it, and it does require a wet signature in black ink. So make sure that you don't forget to sign the form. All right. And do not combine multiple forms in one package. All right. Use one payment form per application type. Okay. So don't try to like put all your stuff and combine all the fees and just use one form for the total. You're going to want to use a separate form for each one. Okay. Yep. So great question, Jim. I'm glad you asked it. We were going to talk about it anyway. If you have any questions about that tonight, you can certainly put it in the chat here as a question, or if you want to call our office, you can call our office, and we can give you some guidance on that as well. Okay.
Yeah. And so one thing that I want to mention, and John has actually been on a couple of webinars with regard to how USCIS is going to handle this. And one of the warnings is that it's going to be a rocky start. You know, for the first people who are filing these forms and using the ACH and the credit card form, it could be rocky because everyone's going to be doing it, right? So USCIS has been taking credit cards for quite some time now. I don't know how long. It's been years. So that's on the G1450. And we had our clients initially when credit cards were being accepted by USCIS first were accepted by USCIS. Our clients were paying with the credit card. Now, there were some issues with that, guys. Let's talk about those issues because it's so important, and it goes to what John just mentioned about making sure that you have funds in your account and making sure that there's you've told and you've called your credit card company and your bank that, hey, this charge is going to come through. Don't block the charge. We were getting cases rejected left and right when our clients use their credit card. And one time it was so strange, but the clients paid with the credit card, and then about a month later, it got rejected and it got returned to us. And like, what happened? And the client had forgotten that he had paid this, completed this and paid the filing fees. And he saw the charge and he called his credit card company and charged it back. So that was one very strange thing. That's the only time that happened. But we were constantly having to refile the cases because they were coming back for insufficient funds, or the fraud block was still there. And so, guys, please be careful. And so this started to be a pattern in our office, and we stopped accepting our clients' credit cards. Like, okay, you know what? No, we are paying by check. You give us the money, we will pay by our law firm check or pay with your check, but no more credit cards. Now, isn't there something though that they're only going to input this one time?
That's right.
And that's also that's an issue. So this could be not your fault, but there could be an inputting issue. So the people that are putting the credit card number in, the ACH number in, they are human beings, right? I might even honestly feel better if it were a robot, right? But these are human beings. They're looking at a piece of paper. Hopefully you've typed it in and not handwritten it, right? So it's legible. But if they input the credit card in incorrectly, and it comes up as invalid, or whatever it comes up, they're not doing it again. So this is a extremely scary prospect for immigration attorneys, because we've seen the rejections from our clients who forget to inform USCIS that, you know, this charge is coming through, or they don't have sufficient funds. So please, please, please be careful. We've seen it with our very own clients. We know that these cases get rejected. There's going to be human error on the USCIS side, and now everyone's going to have to use this. And so it's just going to be a flood of these forms that have to be inputted, and we are prepared. We're filing ahead of time, way ahead of deadlines to the extent that we can. But for you guys, please, please make sure the funds are there. And I know we've gone long with this question, but it's devastating to get something rejected, and maybe it comes back to your doorstep 1 month later, right? So just be very careful with this. It's a huge update.
Huge.
And it is going to be very interesting in the next couple of months to see how all of this pans out. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some lawsuits.
Yeah, and this is so important, because I was a part of a webinar yesterday going over some of the details of this, and there were people on the webinar who had people help them with their filing. There was one person who even had an attorney, but not an immigration attorney, help them file their case. And I felt really bad, because they had sent checks that are be arriving, tomorrow or next week, and they're going to be out of luck. And it's something basic, but if you don't know what you're doing, you can make mistakes with it. It's not a particularly complicated form, but you have to make sure that you're really, really careful in the way that you're using it, and make sure that you're following the instructions to a T. And then you just keep your fingers crossed, because like Radlin said, there's always the possibility there'll be human error on the other side, on the government end.
Yeah,
hopefully that won't happen.
We're using our own bank account, right, for these filings. When we're still not going to let our clients use their credit cards or their bank accounts.
We are using our own account. We're doing ACH debits from our law firm account, from one of our law firm accounts. So we'll keep you posted.
We will keep you posted.
All right. But again, I recommend typing it. Don't forget to sign it. Make sure that there are no restrictions on your ACH debit capabilities with your account. All right. Those are some important things to make sure that you do before you get this filed. And when you file, you're going to want to put this on top of your application. All right. Okay. I think that's...
We have really hammered it home.
We've hammered it home, but this is super important.
No more checks, no more money orders.
No more checks. And if you have friends that maybe are talking to you about their case, you may want to remind them about this. Okay.
Okay. Let's answer some questions here. We've got some on.
We've got a question here. Ricky K was first up on TikTok. Welcome, Ricky. You said, I applied for my I-765 in June, but I still haven't received a biometric notice. Is that normal?
June, July to August, June, July, August, September, October. I mean, it's a little long. Hopefully, Ricky, you got a receipt. I mean, if you're concerned, you can always give them a call. If it's not outside of processing times, and they're probably going to tell you, hey, this is not outside of processing times. But the timeframes for things, guys, right now with the USCIS, they're kind of all over the place, so be patient. But it doesn't hurt to call and inquire. But be patient, because processing times are fast, they're slow, they're here, they're there. And that's to an extent always been the case. I mean, there was a period of time when we could file the I-765, the work authorization. I don't remember what time period this was, but it hasn't really been in the last 5 years or so. But we knew like clockwork, our client's work authorization would be there in 90 days. Like we knew it was kind of like Japanese trains running on time. There was a what do you call it? It was the Gilded Age.
No.
it was the beautiful age of work permits coming in right at 87 days, 88 days, 89 days, 90th day, and we could really count on that. But that really hasn't not been the case in quite some time. It certainly was not the case during the last 4 years, 5. I mean, it just has been a long time since that's happened. But there was a time when that occurred. Just if you give them a call and they say, hey, your case is still within processing times, at least you called and found out and got that bit of information. But it's curious that you haven't gotten a biometrics. It's been 4 months. We typically get those 30, 45 days after filing.
Okay.
Good
question. Hope it works out for you. Give us a call if you need some help. We have GC product here. That says, yeah, GC product
I
says,
cannot see.
Wants to know, is it safe to travel with a 10-year green card? I have no criminal record, no ticket or anything. So here's our first travel question.
We get travel
you guys
are in luck.
We get travel questions every week.
Every week we get travel questions every week. So this person, CC or GC product, this person, he's got a 10-year card. He's been a lawful permanent resident and now he's got a 10-year card. He has no criminal record, or they have no criminal record. There's not even a ticket. There's not even a speeding ticket or anything. There's nothing, right? So awesome. Good for you and not having anything. So the way that we have been giving this information out with regard to travel, we are asking you to go through, like, this person is kind of going through, like, I don't have a ticket. I don't have anything. I don't have a criminal record. And it's probably okay for you to travel, right? Those are the main things. Those are the main things of the criminal record history. But we do ask you to ask a couple more questions in your mind. Do this by yourself. We don't want people to think you're crazy talking to yourself. It's like, have I been outside of the United States for more than a year where Customs and Border Protection might believe that I, have abandoned my green card? Is that an issue? Was there any fraud committed when I got my permanent resident card? Is that an issue? Do I have any evidence of any type of marijuana use? But there's no conviction here. There's no arrest. There's no criminal record. There's nothing. So this person is probably good, right? You may have mentioned it, that there's been a marijuana ticket or something like that. So marijuana is super special for lawful permanent residents. We definitely don't advise that you partake, because lawful permanent residents can be deemed inadmissible if they have marijuana type charges, arrests, admitting to the use of it. So you gotta be careful and ask those questions. But great question. We love answering the travel question because it's so important. And people are very nervous and they're very scared. So if you all are like this person and you don't have anything, you didn't get your green card from fraud, that you don't have a criminal record history, you're totally clean, then by all means go travel and come back into the United States with no issues. Now, one thing to add to that is your social media, right? What does your social media look like? And is there anything on your social media where the government can say, hey, this person is engaged in terrorist activity or speech that's terrorist activity in nature? You have to be careful with that. And good luck. Have a good time coming back in. I don't think it's going to be a problem as long as you go through that checklist and just have some common sense about it, right? They're just, right? Or you should know.
Yeah, great question. And I would just add a few points. Having practiced criminal defense for many, many years, especially representing non-US citizens, when you say, and this may not be you, GC product, but for those of you who might be in a similar situation, be very careful when you when you think that you have no criminal record, I'm not doubting that you have no criminal record, but there are a lot of folks out there who think they have no criminal record when in fact they do have a criminal record. And what I mean by that is a lot of folks have been charged with something, they go to court, it's a pretty minor matter, and they do some sort of a program where they just have to stay out of trouble and be of good behavior, or do an anger management class or some sort of drug counseling, that kind of thing. They come back a year later and the judge dismisses the charge. And in their mind, they're thinking, yeah, I have no criminal record. Yes, I was arrested for domestic assault and battery. I went to juvenile and domestic relations district court, but my wife and I did some counseling, and when I went back, the case was dismissed, so I don't have a record. That's not true. For immigration purposes, you still have a record. All right. So when you say you have no criminal record, folks, be careful and make sure that it's not, that you're not disregarding some sort of a deferred action situation like I just described. The other thing, while we're talking about the marijuana, rather than mentioning marijuana, that's a real danger zone in immigration, primarily because it's, legal to some extent in many states. It's a real patchwork in the United States right now. Every state has a slightly different law regarding marijuana, but under federal law, it is still a scheduled narcotic, and it still is a scheduled drug, it still is illegal under federal law, okay? And as a result, anything that is involving marijuana, even if it was legal where you were, where you live, it still is going to be an immigration problem because that's illegal under federal law. And this isn't just using marijuana. The extra warning I want to give everyone tonight is, there are a lot of states where marijuana is legal now, and you may be a co-owner of some sort of a shop that sells marijuana. You may be an investor, not a passive investor, but an active investor in a head shop that is selling marijuana. That's not okay. All right. That is going to be a problem. If you have any involvement with anything dealing with marijuana and you leave the country, you're going to be permanently banned from coming back in. So steer clear of marijuana if you want to use marijuana, or you want to, try to ride the marijuana business train, and you think you're going to be able to make a lot of money investing in it and running shops for growing it, then call us first so that we can help you become a U.S. citizen.
There you go. That's right.
And then once you naturalize and you become a U.S. citizen, then you can start opening all your marijuana shops, and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay?
100%. We should do our handshake. That was awesome. That was great.
That's right.
All right. This is a really great segue into Justin's question. He's a judge granted my case in removal proceedings. A crime was involved, so a 212H was granted with my green card. DHS waived appeal. Should I be worried that I would be put back in removal under this administration? Justin, listen, if that happens, yes, we should all be worried. I hope not. I mean, I hope that's not the case. We do have clients who fall under this particular exact same scenario. One way, Justin, I don't know how long you've been a lawful permanent resident, but Justin, think about applying for U.S. citizenship. You may be eligible despite the crime. So reach out to us. We can assist you with that and also evaluate. But it's a really good question. I don't think that would happen because that's already done. And with regard to the crime, you've already gone through an immigration hearing and an immigration proceeding. And so you were granted back your green card. So I just don't think that that's something that would happen, but absolutely look into applying for U.S. citizenship. Guys, even if you have a criminal record and you have a conviction, that doesn't mean you're not eligible for U.S. citizenship. Remember,
that's true.
You have to be a person of good moral character for 5 years or 3 years. If you are married to a U.S. citizen for at least 3 years, that person has been a U.S. citizen for at least 3 years, and you're living with that U.S. citizen for at least 3 years. So 5 years, 3 years in military, 1. So you might be eligible. A lot of people out there think, you know what, I'm not going to apply for U.S. citizenship because I have this thing from way back when, and nothing could be further from the truth. You can still potentially be eligible and apply. Now, there are enhanced screenings now with the USCIS, but that doesn't mean you're not going to be eligible. So Justin, gives a call. I will put our number up on the banner, 757-464-9224 for those guys on TikTok, 757-464-9224. We are located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, but we serve clients all around the United States and all around the world. It has been an amazing, amazing journey to be able to serve so many people from all over the place. It's been awesome. And we are celebrating this very month, October, our 25th year anniversary as a law firm and 27 years as a couple.
That's right. So, for those of you who missed the beginning, we're married. So that's why we're maybe sitting so close together.
Well, it's also the cameras.
Yeah.
The camera setup that we have here.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Listen, folks, here's the thing. A lot is going on with immigration right now. A lot's changing. And we understand that there's a certain level of fear out there. But at the same time, USCIS is open for business, and we are open for business. Cases are still being processed daily. We're still getting approvals daily. So rather than just cowering in fear about what's going on, you have dreams, you have things you want to do in your life, and your immigration case is a major part of your dreams. Don't be afraid right now. Just be informed. Just make sure you know what the current rules are, what you need to know, what you need to be careful about, and we can help you with that. And, it's a cliche, I know, but, knowledge is power. And in the immigration zone right now, it really is. You just have to make sure you know what to be on the lookout for, what the dangers are, what the pitfalls are, what to be careful about. And we can help guide you through all of it. We're full steam ahead. We're not participating in the immigration fear. All right. We're participating in knowledge and pushing forward through it. Okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there's so much we can do. So a lot of things you see like, oh my gosh, I this is terrible. I can't do this. You probably can, because a lot of that probably does not impact you. So there was a question. I think we missed it. I saw it.
It's right here.
Nope. It was before that.
Oh, okay.
It was somebody from Virginia Beach, actually. You see that question? I mean, he was one of the first ones, guys. We're not answering his question because he's from Virginia Beach, or she's from Virginia Beach.
I think the very first one was Ricky.
Not the first one. It was like the second or third. But anyway, while you find the Virginia Beach question, let me answer.
Yeah,
let me answer this question. But I know what the Virginia Beach question was. So the Virginia Beach question was, I believe he or she was married, and his spouse entered the United States without inspection. And the question was, can he join the military and apply for parole in place for the spouse? And so, yes, that is a potential remedy. So if you are in the military and your spouse has entered without inspection and you're a U.S. citizen, your spouse may be able to apply for adjustment of status after you file parole in place. You are granted the parole in place, or your spouse is granted the parole in place, and then you can go ahead and file the petition, and along with the parole in place, the green card application and all the other applications that go with the I-45. So answer to Virginia Beach person, yes, you could potentially do that. Please, please, please give us a call. We do parole in place all the time. We are a military town, and
right.
it's something that we do often. And there is a new fee that's going to be with the parole in place, unfortunately. But give us a call if you need help with that.
Yeah, we're located in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And for those of you who are not familiar with the region, Norfolk and Virginia Beach are, it's a big military area. So yeah, we deal with military folks quite a bit.
All right, I'm going to pop this question up here. Mamie says, I have a temporary I-551 pending, I-751. Can I travel? So I'm going to give just generally speaking here, okay? Generally speaking, if you file the I-751 petition, the petition to remove the conditions on your lawful permanent residency, then, and you receive a receipt, generally speaking, that I-751 receipt will extend your green card. Right now, the extension is 48 months. It really depends on when you got that, but Mamie has a temporary I-551, so she can travel, they can travel with that anyway. I will say that with, of course, a warning going back to what we talked about, just general travel, right? So I wouldn't advise travel. And despite having these things, again, you have to ask yourself the questions. Have you ever been convicted of a crime? Do you have a charge or arrest? The additional question is, are you still with your petitioning spouse, right? You filed your I-551, but are you and your spouse still living together? If you come into the United States and you've got the I-551, that question may come up. And so not that you won't be granted entry into the United States because you may not be living with your spouse, but they may give you a hard time about it. And the answers to your question will show up at your I-751 interview. So generally speaking, under these circumstances, yes, a person is allowed to travel with the I-751 receipt and their expired green card and their passport, of course. Great question. Right, let's go over to
H over here on TikTok says, hi, what happens if USCIS does not respond after your N400 interview and it's been over 120 days?
Yeah, so what happens? So what happens is you should make an inquiry to, make a congressional inquiry. Make some service inquiries as well, right? So make a couple of service inquiries, call your congressperson or write your congressperson and say, hey, look, my interview has been pending for 120 days. And if you still get no response, you can sue them for action. And we've done that and we will do it. We, in fact, had lunch with some very old friends, and we helped with getting citizenship for their whole family. And one of the ways we did that was we had to sue them for it because they also were waiting for an answer, and they just never did. And so we sued them and we got an answer fairly quickly. So if you need some help with that, we'd be happy to do it if you're in the Eastern District of Virginia. But even if you're not, reach out to us and we can either help you find someone to do that for you or do it for you and have local counsel assist. So
absolutely. And this question, it was down here a little lower, but I did find it. It was jiu-jitsu.
Jiu-jitsu. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Question about who's in Virginia Beach.
Yes.
All right. Jiu-jitsu, you're out there somewhere. I'm looking out the windows. You're somewhere out there.
Could be right across the street here. Okay. All right. Do you have a question or? Oh, it's here. All right. Alfonsino says, hi. Hey, when do they start processing the green card? How long does it take to receive a response? So
that's really nice, whatever that is.
Yes, it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. It's like a reflection. Yes, a lake, some sort of body of water. So when you file for your green card, let's say you're doing an adjustment, a marriage adjustment, and once you file it, then usually within about 3 to 4 weeks, you will receive receipt notices from USCIS. The receipt notice are going to be for every application that you filed that requires a fee, and that shouldn't take very long. So Alfonsina, hopefully you've just recently filed it, but that's just something to look out for as far as the time frame. So once you receive the receipts, usually about 30 to 45 days later, you will receive your biometrics notice. And then usually 4 to 5 months later, depending on where you are and how the processing time goes, you will receive your work authorization, your advance parole if you applied for those. And then finally, based on the posted processing times in your city and state where your case is going to end up, you can expect to receive a interview notice about a month prior to that interview that you are going to have to appear at your local interview. So Alfonsina, hopefully that timeline helps you out a bit, but great question.
Yeah, let us know where the beautiful photo was taken if you can. I'm curious.
All right,
Okay,
what do we have?
Yeah, New York over here says my ex-immigration lawyer still has online access code for my case and in use in the lawyer account. May I request another one from USCIS? No, can't do that because I don't want to ask from my previous lawyer.
Yeah. So I have to say that in our office, I am not the person to ask about online accounts. We have a whole team that, files and creates accounts. I apologize. I do not know the answer to that question. It seems to me that that should be a possibility. But I can't say, yes, do a new online account. And I can't tell you what the impact may be on your current case. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, we need to get our managing attorney
or one of our paralegals to help out with that. All right. So from Josephine Salvador Lafreniere, question about N400 exemption for civic question. Is stage 4 breast cancer and due to chemo brain, will they give a chance not to ask a single civic question during the interview? Thank you. Yes, that is a possibility. And I'm sorry if this is that you're going through this or a family member. I'm very sorry to hear that, but that shouldn't impact your ability to apply for U.S. citizenship if that's what you want to do at this moment in time. But you will have to. There's a special form. And someone will have to, a doctor, your treating doctor, or it could be another specialist that would have to make that connection between your inability to answer the questions and tie that to your medical condition. So we'll be happy to consult with you on that if that's something that you want to do. And but that is a possibility.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good luck with your treatment, and we hope to hear from you.
She had an excerpt of 3-year nonstop medication since 2022, every 21 days. Infusion. Yeah, that's tough.
That is really tough. Hang in there. I'm sure you are. Looks like you have a beautiful family, and we wish you the best. And this is we've never worked on a case where we needed to show this type of connection. We've certainly had to do it with other medical conditions. So give us a call. We'd be happy to help.
Dan here has got a problem. I missed my asylum interview today because traffic. What can I do? That's not the best.
That is not the best. So an asylum interview, we don't do asylum. And so hopefully you tried to reach out or if you had an immigration attorney representing you, that you were able to reach out or able to reach out to that office or able to even, go to the office and let them know that this is what happened. So one thing they can do is they may reschedule it. I don't know with the immigration policies currently, I really wouldn't be surprised if they just referred it to an immigration, denied the case and referred it to immigration judge. So I would try to contact the office and let them know why you missed and see if there's any opportunity to make that up. But I can't speak to that from experience about what would happen.
Good luck, Dan.
Yes, good luck.
Okay, Wang here wants to know, I own a home care agency and I'm looking for a responsible attorney to guide me in sponsorship.
Well, you have come to the right place.
Yeah, that's right. Your search is over.
Your search is over. That's right. You can give us a call. We'd be happy to consult with you and guide you through that process. It is it's a multi-step process, and we have experience in doing that. One thing that I would like to say about this process and employment-based processes is that if you have a business in a case like this, right, and we've consulted with places where they're taking care of the elderly, home health care. We've assisted with home health care. We've assisted multiple industries, hospitals, for nurses, you name it. One thing to keep in mind is that you have to, you're asking the question, right? You have to kind of have that forward-looking attitude about, the future of your business. The future of your business, where is it going to be? And I'm saying that because this process can take 3+ years in order for you to get your first person over here, right? I mean, you can do them all. You can apply for them all at the same time. You can do, if you want 10, 15, 20 all at the same time, you can do that as well. But the timeline, I think a lot of people are surprised about. And the timeline is fine if your applicants are here in the United States, they're already working for you in some capacity. Maybe they're here on OPT as an F1, maybe they're here on an H1B, and they're working for you and they're able to stay and continue to work for you. But when you're thinking, okay, I'm going to make this investment of my time and my finances to have someone immigrate here in 3+ years, I don't want to do it, right? That's going to take too long. But I promise you, you will not regret it when your first 1 through 10, right, employees come through this process. It's extremely rewarding. It's rewarding for you as a company to know that, you went through this process. You're helping your patients, you're helping your business, you're helping the people who are immigrating to the United States to have this position and be lawful permanent residents of the United States. So it is a win-win-win. It just definitely does take some future planning and to be okay with waiting for something, and you're not going to get the benefit of that for a couple of years. But to answer your question, we can absolutely help. Give us a call.
Yeah, we talk, we tend to get more questions on this live involving family immigration, but we absolutely do business immigration as well. And in fact, it's a large part of our practice. And Radlin is right. It takes time, and sometimes people are not sure that they want to invest that time in it. But if you are forward thinking and forward looking, and you've got a plan for your business, it's a really great route to go. Advice I would give you, if this is something that you are serious about doing, obviously give us a call. We can help you. We represent employees and companies, all over the country. Sometimes they, 10, 20, 30, 40 employees at a time. But one thing I would recommend is that if you are planning on doing this, and I don't know anything about your business, but I would start now trying to get all of your business stuff in order.
Yeah.
One of the problems that smaller businesses run into with this is, not having some of the normal things that a business needs to have, document wise, tax wise, so on and so forth. So I would highly recommend, if you don't have that stuff, start now. Start getting things together.
Yeah.
Start cleaning up all the business practices and the tax filings and everything, so that if you do go this route, you're able to show the things that you'll need to be able to show.
Yep. All right. Great question here from YouTube from Jake.
Hey, Jake.
Hi, Jake. Nice fall photo there. Very nice. And I like your flannel shirt to go with the fall. So my brother's here under the K2 visa. I am a U.S. citizen. Can I legally adopt him and have him be a citizen? So, this is an interesting question. Number one, I'm curious to know. I mean, he's on a K2 visa, and so he is the child of someone who came in on the K1, right? Maybe that's your mom, if you guys have the same mom. Why is he not going to get his permanent residency from the process? So he can get his green card through the process if the petitioning sponsor, the U.S. citizen fiance, files the I-485 for him and his parent, right? That would be a much more direct way in order for him to get permanent residency in the United States, and then he could potentially apply for U.S. citizen 3 years, or maybe even derive it from his parent, depending on how old he is. So, can you legally adopt him? Yes, you can legally adopt your brother. You have to have that adoption done before he turns age 16. And the question is, and have him be a citizen. If you adopt him for maybe there are circumstances where he needs to be adopted, right? Maybe things aren't working out. Maybe the petitioner didn't file the I-485. Maybe they never got married. If they never got married on the K1, then your brother's out of status. So perhaps these are the circumstances that you're finding yourself in, which is why you're asking this question. But if you adopt him, he will not derive U.S. citizenship from you automatically just from that adoption. You still have to petition for him as a child, right? And that is with USCIS. That's filing the I-130 petition and the green card application, because now if you adopt him, then now you are the parent. There's also this extra added complication, so to speak, where you have to show that you have been living with your adopted child for at least 2 years, and that you've adopted the child and the adoption has been valid for at least 2 years. So there are several steps that are in place there, especially when you are adopting a family member, such as you are here. And if he's here, then that's going to make things easier. But there's also a complication with a K2 visa applicant if they did not go through that there was no marriage, and there's an issue, a legal issue there with that K2 visa holder even becoming a lawful permanent resident without making an exit out of the country and coming back in. So it's extremely jumbled and complicated, Jake, and I invite you to give us a call so we can help you unravel it. And if there is a way that we can get your brother to remain here in the United States, if that marriage didn't work out with his parent, that would be awesome. It'd be awesome for you. It would be awesome for us. We would be the hero. It'd be awesome for your brother and your family. And so give us a call, 757-464-9224. It's right there on the screen. Jake, that is a great question. Mm-hmm. And I love thinking about and working on cases like this, because there are a lot of different moving parts and a lot of nuance there. So,
and just an amazing payoff at the end, because when it works, wow. I mean, that's big. Okay. And I hope you all would think about that. You may not have a case like Jake's, but all of your immigration cases, stop and think for a moment just how your life will be different when that case is approved, when it's completed, when it's done, and you have what you've been searching for all this time. It's an amazing feeling. We get to live it every day through our clients, and lucky us, right? Okay.
Absolutely.
Horain 301 here wanted to know, is there any update on the I-730 case for Afghan? They will issue the visa, or
there's a travel
if
ban.
there's a travel ban.
Yeah. So, what's the person's name?
Harain.
I can't tell you. We don't do these types of cases, and so I wouldn't be able to speak wisely.
Yeah.
Speak informatively in answering your question.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, Harain. We're not able to help you with that one tonight. Maybe we can see if we can address it next week. All right. Sorry.
We are dialing up the next question, and we've gotten some really great questions tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And want to introduce ourselves again. My name is Radlin Mendoza, and this is my law partner husband, John Gardner. And we are the co-founders of Gardner and Mendoza Immigration Law. We are located in Virginia Beach, Virginia. We are celebrating this month our 25th law firm anniversary. So we are very excited about that. Time flies. And our 27th wedding anniversary we just celebrated this month too. So a lot happened in October. Not in the same year, a couple years later. So
all right. Sorry, folks. We lost the questions there for a minute. I had to scroll back up, so we take them in order. Rocio wants to know.
Rocio.
We had a very, very dear friend named Rocio.
Yes, from Colombia.
She was from Colombia. Yes, sir. But this Rocio wants to know, how long does a 601 expedited take?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I'm not sure.
Boy, that's 2 in a row.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Processing time questions, expedite. I mean, I can look up a processing time, but expedite, it's, you can get an answer in 30, you can get an answer in 60, 90 days. I can't pinpoint when.
All right, a couple comments here. Yep. Josephine says happy anniversary. Well, thank you, Josephine. Appreciate it. Dan says thank you guys for the valuable information. Dan, again, we're going to be pulling for you. Good luck, buddy. And Ellen says hi from Massachusetts.
Hey.
Let's see here.
So there's a home country question there?
This one.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Yes. Waiver 601A was approved.
That's awesome. Good job.
Is it safe to go to my home country for the interview?
The question here is, I'm going through a legal immigration process, right? I have an I-130 petition approved. My 601 stateside waiver has been approved. Probably took you a very long time to get both of those approved. Now it's the National Visa Center processing. And part of that National Visa Center process is after you've gone through the National Visa Center, an interview is going to be scheduled in your home country, right? And the question is really, am I going to be able to come back, right? I've gone through this whole legal process. Now I'm leaving the country. I've probably been here for 15 years maybe, or 20 years in the United States. I'm going to have to go because this is part of the process. Part of the 601A waiver process is you have to leave the country and you will be able to come back, right? However, there are reasons why you might not be able to come back. So if the 601A waiver only waives unlawful presence in the United States. So if you go to your interview and they say, oh, you have a criminal record. We didn't know about this. This was not in your application. You didn't tell anyone about this. I'm not saying this happens to you. This is just hypothetical. Then there could be a potential issue where, you're going to be found inadmissible, right? You're not going to be able to come in despite this waiver. This waiver only waives unlawful presence in the United States. And so you may have to file another waiver if it's a waivable offense. You could go to your medical and you could admit to the civil surgeon who you think is your best pal because they're chummy and admit to them that you use drugs. You're probably not going to get the visa, so you won't be able to come back. So barring those things, please talk to your lawyer, go through this, make sure that there are no other reasons why you would not be able to come back. Now, here's a common one as well, is if you are subject to the permanent bar. and the permanent bar the 601A waiver does not waive, the permanent bar. So please talk to your immigration attorney. If you're coming here and asking this question, that means you're worried about it in some way, shape, or form. And, our clients are worried about it too, to go back on, to leave the country after being in the United States for so many years. So good luck. I hope everything is totally fine. I mean, our clients, we know that it's very nerve-wracking to be able to take that leap of faith and leave the country going through this process, especially everything that's going on right now. I can understand your concern, but talk to your immigration attorney. If you don't have an immigration attorney, we'd be happy to evaluate your case and just make sure that you're good to go. So great question and good luck. And when you do come back, because it's going to be fine, please come back here and let us know. Okay. We'd love to hear back from you.
All right. And we have a comment here on Facebook that made me chuckle. Mike Applegate, who, judging by that photo, looks like Navy, maybe here.
Let's see. Let's put his question.
Maybe here locally. He said, suggestion. You might want to air 7 to 8 p.m. because of the World Series this week. You will lose baseball viewers. Games start at 8 p.m. Mike, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for letting us know that. We are really big baseball fans, as you can see, since we're here doing this live stream. But no, that's a great tip.
Okay.
And thanks for keeping us posted about the World Series being on. Is that this week then? I guess
so.
Fantastic. All right.
Maybe a Dodgers fan.
All right.
Who are you pulling for, Mike?
Yes, Mike. Who are you pulling for? Who's playing? Let's start with the.
I think the LA. You got to pull for the LA Dodgers, right? I don't follow baseball. I follow other sports. Baseball is not one of them. But we'll have to check it out now that you've given us the tip. We appreciate it. Okay. We got time for one more, or do you think we need to cut out of here? I think it's.
I think we Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Blue Jays.
Yeah. That's Toronto, but we're.
Toronto. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. You're a Blue Jays fan. Okay. Never mind what I said about LA. We're Blue Jays all the way, Mike. Okay.
So this question is interesting. Is it Jib Boyle? I can't see. I can read this though. Yes. Is it safe to apply for EB3 visa whilst
on an H4 visa from within the U.S.?
On an H4 visa from, yeah. I mean, yes, it should be. What are your concerns? We can't really have the conversation because this is a one-way conversation. But that's my question back to you. What are your concerns for filing for that? Is it travel? Yeah. Give us a call. Yeah. Be happy to help with the EB3 while you're on an H4.
And Mike says, I stream the games and watch you guys at the same time anyway.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. Let's do our handshake for Mike. We just did this very complicated handshake.
Right. Want to get cool. Okay, guys.
We are actually going to end. It's time for dinner.
We got to roll out of here. Mike, enjoy the World Series games.
Thanks for watching us while you're watching the Blue Jays.
Thanks for the multitasking. We really appreciate it. We're touched by that. All right, everybody. You have a wonderful night. We will see you next week. We'll have to check now that Mike has given us. We'll have to follow, see what's going on with that.
Yeah. Right? I don't know. I'm not sure.
2 thumbs up, and our daughter Sammy's going to take us out with another one of her songs. All right, see you
Bye,
guys.
Take care.